We back, everybody. Welcome back to Walk It Off, Talk It Off with Alex and Randy. Had a little bit of a hiatus there. A lot of stuff going on. Randy took some time, spend time with the family. I was in the process of moving out of one apartment back to my parents' house, back into another apartment. But now I'm cooped up and chilling in Long Island. So I'm officially a New Yorker, which is funny because I think Manhattan is very overrated. So good thing I chose the island. But we're back now. Hopefully we can get back onto a weekly recording basis now that we kind of have our schedule set in stone. But it's good to be back. So let's get it rocking.
Biggie, 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 can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me. And I just love your flashy ways. I guess that's why they're broken, you're so fake. Biggie, 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 can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me. And I just love your flashy ways. I guess that's why they're broken, you're so fake.
I put holes in NY onto.
Yeah, guys, welcome back. This is episode 8. As Alex mentioned, he made a big move. I want to say big congratulations out to him. Landed a job with Stony Brook University in Long Island, so we'll clap it up for him on his grown shit. If you guys know us, you know we love How I Met Your Mother. I got my blue French horn throw pillow over there on the couch, and he's on his Ted Mosby shit with this whole I'm a New Yorker now.
I will never step foot in New Jersey.
Yeah, that's fine. Distance doesn't matter. We're still going to be pumping these episodes out for you guys, and super glad to be back. I traveled a little bit. I got to spend 4th of July with my family, which was great. Set off some fireworks from my niece, who is 1.5. It was cool seeing her reaction to that. And then made my way to Nashville, Tennessee. Which was a good time. A lot of drinking, a lot of partying, a lot of sightseeing, and just tried to, do as much as I could in the short time that I was there. But it was fun, and I'm ready to get back to work now.
We gotta get Nashville a baseball team.
Oh, we definitely
like ASAP.
Maybe the A's when they
maybe that'd be a good
Nashville
spot.
I don't know. I'm pulling for the Vegas A's, man.
I think that's inevitable just because you got WNBA down there already. Yeah, you got
the Kings, or not the Kings,
the Golden Knights.
The Golden Knights,
and then you just had the Raiders move down there. So
LA's at the spot, man.
Yeah, definitely. We'll get into it. It's gonna be a shorter episode this week. We're just gonna welcome back, talk about what's going on around the league and some bigger topics. There's been some funny stuff that's been going on that we'll talk about. And then we both kind of hypothesized like a trade that we want to see happen. Doesn't mean that it will happen or that we're not insiders. We have no knowledge whatsoever to what's going on. Like I get my news just like everybody else from Jeff Passan on ESPN or from John Boy Media or from, whomever. So MLB Network stuff. So we just want something that we would like to see happen or that we think makes sense. So we have that too, but going on around the league, what we got standings wise, we want to get into something there. Anything you want to touch on, Randy?
A lot of the same. The Rays are hot right now. Following the AL East a little bit. It seemed like the Red Sox have been kind of taking it the whole year, and the Rays are hot now. They landed Nelly Cruz at the trade deadline. I know we'll get a little more into the trade stuff later, but. Big move for them, and they're hot. They easily could take this division over, which it looks like they're kind of already doing. But should be a good finish there. And then the White Sox and the Stros are kind of taking control in their respective divisions.
Yeah, honestly, like going through everything, like not much really changed from the last time that we had recorded. Maybe some things are a little closer, but the White Sox are running away, like you said. That's normal, expected. The Astros are 4.5 game lead. So I think when we last recorded, maybe they weren't as good as they are now, but we all kind of, at least I saw that coming anyway. The Braves have been the big surprise all year for me that they've just been so bad.
I was going to mention, you can very well see the Braves catching up to the Mets soon. I think they're 4 games back right now.
Yeah, 4 games back. They're sitting 1 game below 500.
The Mets are they're very. I mean, you know how they are every year, but they're very unpredictable. I mean, they have series where it looks like they completely dominate, and they have series where they, pretty much almost get swept by the Pirates.
Yeah.
It's very unpredictable. Their pitching's been pretty good, but everyone has their off days, and anything could happen. I know they're dealing with some injuries, like Lindor, DeGrom's been back and forth all year and whatnot.
But I mean, I'm looking at the standings right now. I mean, the Mets sit atop the NL East. They're 5-5 in their last 10, but so are the Braves and so are the Phillies. And the Braves and the Phillies are both 48, 49 overall.
Right?
What do you say?
They're both 4 games out, right?
They're both 4 games out. They're both tied. They both sit 1 game below 500.
Yeah.
And the Phillies are kind of like the Mets to a certain point, I think. I mean, we know that the Phillies pitching is not good. Like their bullpen is atrocious. But like they do things where they'll go and they'll look real good. Or like you said with the Mets, they'll win a couple of series and you're like, oh, okay, maybe the Phillies are turning it around. Zach Wheeler's been shoving all year. Nola's having a bit of an off year, but he's still good. But like they do things like that. They'll go and they'll sweep, like, they'll play a good team and they'll take 2 out of 3 or win the series, but then they'll come and just shit the bed.
You saw it last week when they played the Yankees. They're facing Asher Wojciechowski and they can't get it done.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that whole series was absolute garbage, but that's besides the point. But yeah, I'm really happy to see. Sorry to cut you off. I'm happy to see the Brewers.
Yeah, Brewers great. I want to get. I mean, their pitching is just absolutely dominant, phenomenal.
And they've taken the first 2 games. I think they won last night against the White Sox. Granted, they're at home. That helps a little bit.
Right.
But no, let's see where are we at here. They won 7-1 on Friday and they won 6-1 last night. Corbin Burns, they beat up on Carlos Rodon. You
know what's crazy too? It's when you think of the Brewers, you automatically think of Christian Yelich.
Mm-hmm.
And he has just not been as productive as he was in his MVP season.
No, he's been terrible.
Where he was finishing top in like all categories.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing it without like their star player producing at the level he should be. And it's kind of fun to watch. Their pitching staff is ridiculous. Their bullpen's good. And the bats just, they get clutch hits from these guys that you wouldn't expect to be, what they're doing, like a Tyrone Taylor or like a Rowdy Tellez or like even a Willie Adames. I mean, it's the little things they do right.
Colton Wong's been showing out too.
Great, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking. I just pulled up Christian Yelich. I mean, these are. I know he was hurt for a little bit or like had a couple of IL stints this year earlier on, but I mean, he's been terrible. Like, to put it frank, he's been terrible for Christian Yelich standards. I mean, he's hitting. He only has 217 at bats, which I think is probably pretty low. Because he, like I said, he did have 2 IL stints, but he's hitting 240. He's got 28 RBI. His OPS is above league average at 761, but that's still low for him. But he's only got 6 homers. Like that's not MV Yelly.
Those aren't Yelly numbers, man.
No. I hope he starts to kick it up a little bit because I mean he was hurt twice early on. You can't get into a rhythm. I'm pretty sure he started the season on the IL.
It's tough to find solid when you're dealing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, baseball's a lot better when he's doing his thing, man. He's fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely.
And then are getting it done, but your Cardinals, man, have
they're bad, dude. I forgot about them. I was just gonna say, staying in the NL Central too. The Cubs were hot around the time when we last recorded. They really fell off. Came out and said that they were going to be sellers at the deadline. So we're interested to see what that happens. They already got rid of Jock Peterson, sent him to ATL. But the Reds are sitting at 51-47. And to put that into perspective, people might be like, "Oh, that's but that's not good." Like you think about it, they're not that great over 500. Well, the Yankees are 51-46.
Right.
So the Yankees have 1 game on the Reds in the loss column, but it's a lost cause for the Reds. They're 5.5 games out of the wild card. The wild card's going to be the Dodgers and the Padres. So
right. one thing I did want to point out is the Reds. I can't think of his name right now. The pitcher who's been shitty this year.
Castillo.
Yes.
He's actually turned it on as of late.
He's not. He went 7 scoreless last night. Luis Castillo, right?
Yeah, Luis Castillo.
Yeah, he's been crazy lately. Let me pull up his numbers because his last couple of games I feel like have been pretty good.
No, he's been solid because I had my eye on him in fantasy.
Yeah, ever since we shit on him, he's kind of.
Yeah, I picked him up July 10th, and he started the 11th against the Brewers, and he went 5 1/3, 3 hits, 1 run, but he had 6 walks. His walks are still high, but
listen to this. On June 4th, he had a 6.63 ERA. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 starts since then, he's dropped his ERA almost 3 whole points down to 4.12.
Yeah, he's dropped it almost 3 full runs. Like his
last 4 starts, he's thrown 15 innings and given up 3 runs.
Yeah, the only thing that's been iffy with him is the walks. I mean, looking from June 26th, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, his last 6 starts. I mean, I can't do the math this fast, but going back to June 26th, I'll go through the numbers. 2 walks, 3 walks, 1 walk. That's good against Kansas City. 6 walks against the Brewers on the 11th of July. 3 walks against the Brewers on the 17th. 3 walks again last night against the Cardinals. Granted, he went 7 innings, gave up 1 run, and had 9 Ks last night, but his walk numbers are not that good this year.
No,
but still, he's absolutely turned it on, and that's good for the Reds. Like, I don't think they're going to make playoffs. Castellanos just went on the IL with a wrist, I think. And Jesse Winker really fell off too. He was hitting like 343 mid-June, and I looked the other day. It's probably a little better now, but I looked the other day and he was under 300. He was in the 290s.
I know he homered yesterday, but I know he's still he's been struggling.
Yeah.
But I mean, not much has changed. Like you said, I don't really think they're going to make the Reds have a shot just because of how loaded that NL West is.
Mm-hmm.
Like 3 teams from the NL West are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's going to be fun to watch like that NL West division. Who wins that division? Could be the Dodgers, could be the Giants, Padres.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is, dude. The Giants just win. Like
they get things done, man.
I don't know how.
It's a complete team, dude. Like
they go, like they play
they're starting pitching to their bullpen.
Yeah. Yeah, they go to LA and they just take 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Like I mean, the games are close. That's
because Kenley Jansen was absolutely atrocious.
Well, that, and I think there was that bad check swing on Ruff. He 1,000% swung at that ball, but the first base ump didn't see it, I guess.
I know Kenley came in and locked down a save last night, but I saw a stat that his 4 previous appearances before that resulted in a loss. So
yeah. Yeah, him and Chapman are both the same right now.
Yeah, exactly. Except, I don't want to, knock on wood, but Chappie's been all right lately, but it still makes me nervous every time.
Yeah, absolutely. So who's what else we got? Who's hot right now?
Hot right now, definitely the Rays.
Yeah.
Honestly, the Yanks are hot.
They have. I mean, you and I were talking last night. I was joking with you. I guess the season officially started today. With that comeback, or whatever, and you're like, stop it, acting like they haven't won their last.
Real quick.
Yeah, they haven't won they've won their last 5 series or something like that. The only thing that is the Red Sox, and the Yankees have won 1 series against the Red Sox, but the Red Sox and the Rays just keep winning. I mean, they're not going to go away. Like the Yankees, the Yankees have to play 8 games better than both of those teams if they want to win the AL East, and that's just not going to happen. I mean,
it's you can't really fault the Yankees. I mean, you have 2 60-win teams in your division right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's good baseball in the AL East.
They just got to keep playing good ball. But speaking of hot teams, the Mariners. Yeah. They got to get around the Mariners. The Mariners are 2.5 games out of the wild card. and the
6 and
Yankees are
4 in their last
3.5.
10. Yeah,
So
Mariners are 6-4 in their last 10, and they've won 2 in a row at this point. They're definitely hot, and they're definitely a team to watch out for. Like
and I did see last night Kelnick got the call back up to the show.
Yeah,
He played last night. I don't know how recently he got called up, but he scored the winning run. They walked it off on a wild pitch last night.
good.
But
It's funny. I mean, I love seeing the young talent, and
yeah,
he
absolutely.
up a little too early the first go around, but
I mean,
I think if he gets consistent at bats and stuff, I think
if
obviously.
yeah, I don't care if you're the number one ranked prospect in the world or whatever, dude. Like once you get to the league, it changes. I mean, the talent gap in between levels from A, AA, AAA to MLB is just so incredibly high. Like I was watching a game and I remember, they were talking about how, the hitters counts like 2-0, 3-0, 3-1, 2-1. Like those used to be fastball counts. Like when you and I played like in high school and stuff, and they still probably are in high school because the kids are still trying to get better. But those are fastball counts. In the minor leagues, those are fastball counts when you face minor league pitchers. When you get to the league, when you get to the show, that's not a fastball count anymore, dude. They'll throw like you got guys that have nasty changeups, nasty curveballs, sliders. Like
I mean,
Max Scherzer is not throwing you a 2-1, 3-1 fastball if he knows that you can hit the fastball. He's gonna throw a nasty change piece or a slide piece in there.
You're certainly not getting something straight to hit.
Yeah, like it's not that, one pitch. Yeah, it's not that one pitch, one spot. It's kind of like, okay, like think fastball and react like you should. Like the approach stays the same, and but these guys, they have such nasty pitches. Like, I mean, even if you do get a fastball, like Jacob deGrom's going to throw it 101, like at your hands. Like you're not going to hit that. Like I hope Kelnick, got that first cup of coffee and now I hope he's able to play well. Kendall Graveman, you mentioned too, Graveman and Kikuchi. We can talk about them if you wanted to, but you had something to say.
No, I was just going to say, look, I mean, you hit the nail right on the head with the first go around. I mean, now he's going to be more relaxed. He's got his boy Kyle Lewis out there with him. So I think he's going to be a stud. So I'm not worried about that. But the Mariners are good, man. They're all around. Their pitching's been good this year with Kikuchi being an all-star. We talked before we started recording about, we figured they were going to be sellers this year. We figured Kikuchi could go, Graveman could go, even a guy like Mitch Haniger could go. They're what, 3.5 games or 3 games back in the wild card, or
2.5.
I mean, it's anyone's ball game in that AL wild card, and the Mariners are very surprisingly good. So they're fun to watch, man.
Yeah, I mean they're 2.5 out on the wild card, and I mean they're 3.5 behind the A's for second place in the AL West. So, they're 2.5.
7 games out of the division. I mean,
they're 7 games out of the division. I mean, if the A's stumble,
so
absolutely.
Definitely a team to watch out for. As a Yankee fan, it's like you look at those standings and you're like, Yankees, we're 3.5 games back, and then you see the Mariners are ahead of us, and it's like that shouldn't, that shouldn't be, but they definitely deserve it the way they've been playing this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we had for like the Tigers were hot, but they were fake hot because they won. They swept. What was it? The
Twins. The Twins. They took 3 against the Twins and then 4 against the Rangers. But you said something before we started recording about the Rangers since the All-Star break.
Since the All-Star break, they've lost 11 in a row now after losing last night. And their team ERA since the All-Star break is at like a 7.83, I think it was, or something like that.
Yeah,
it's absolutely atrocious.
Yeah, it is. I want to see something real quick, because one guy, like we can kind of segue that into the trade deadline talks, is Kyle Gibson.
Oh yeah, Gibby.
I want to see what he's been up to, because he was a piece. I mean, Joey Gallo's name is floating around. But Kyle Gibson, let's see, what's he at right now? He's still okay. So he's had a bad last couple of starts. The 7th, 6 1/3, 8 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned, 2 walks, 7 Ks against the Tigers. the 19th. So more recently, 5 innings, 10 hits, 8 earned, 2 walks, 2 Ks against the Tigers. And then he just threw on the 24th. So he threw yesterday against Houston. 4 hits, 2 earned, 8 walks. He walked 8 batters last night. I didn't even know that. Holy hell.
It's funny to mention, you know, how good he's been this year, despite Texas obviously being, you know, one of the worst teams in the league. Because he was on the Twins. I used to get so excited when the Yankees would face off.
Yeah, dude.
A tee off.
Yeah, he was bad.
Yeah, so
I mean, I hope he keeps it up because I hope he gets traded to somewhere good so he can like be on like a high national scale.
Right. It's like a Kevin Gausman situation. Kevin Gausman was never known to be that great. I mean, he was never bad, but you know, he was on the Orioles.
He was average.
Yeah, average. And then he went to a team who is doing it this year, and look at his numbers. So we'll definitely pay close attention to that. I mean, we could get into some of the deadline talk if you want.
Yeah, absolutely. I mentioned Gallo was a guy. People are shopping him. A big one.
I heard that they might be staying put with Gallo.
I would. I mean, if you want to rebuild, I've heard that the Rangers organization is atrocious, so maybe Gallo wants out. But if you want to rebuild, I feel like he's a guy that you would keep.
Oh, definitely. I mean, he is a guy who could play multiple positions. You could put him, and he's a Gold Glover in the outfield.
Yeah. I don't think people realize that.
No, exactly. You like put him at first, you put him at third. Mm-hmm. Like the guy's versatile, and he's such a wacky hitter, man, because he has all those walks. Mm-hmm. Like his on-base percentage is nuts, but he never bats. His batting average is never that high.
Yeah,
he mashes home.
He's the true. Like there was an older like stereotype about the game of baseball. Like there's 3 true outcomes that you can have as a hitter. You can either walk, strike out, or hit a home run, and that's Joey Gallo. He either walks, strikes out, or he hits a homer.
Right. And that's why I've been saying for all these years that he would fit so well in the Yankees lineup because that's all we do.
Yeah, exactly. So he was one. I think he'll stay put. I mean, Kyle Gibson is probably going to be on the move. I feel like he should be.
Yeah.
You know, he was one. Obviously, there's the big one in Trevor Story. Apparently, a team has called the Rockies to talk about him to see if he could play center field. And it is believed that the Yankees were that team that called the Rockies to check in on him about playing center field. It was reported by a former Yankees beat reporter that the Yankees had checked in on on Story, and that one team has been asking him about playing center field and just connecting the dots with the way that the Yankees have been this year and that needing that center field. Tim LeCastro tears his ACL. He's out for the year. Granted, Estevan Florial is doing a lot better than people I think expected him to. So that could play a part in it. But, you know, you got to think that it probably was the Yankees that were like, hey, Trev, like center field, shortstop, you know, best athlete on the squad.
Guy who's super athletic, fast.
Has an absolute hose for an arm.
Great arm, great bat, you know, great read on balls at short. But it'd be fun to see, but I can't see the Yankees having the pieces to get him. And
I don't think they have the pieces, and then
I don't see Cashman and Steinbrenner making those moves, you know,
because
they're not aggressive.
Yeah, they're not aggressive like that. They won't give up the prospects for him, and they wouldn't extend him either because they're like, oh, we got to stay below this luxury tax.
He'd be like a quick he'd be what's the word?
A rental.
Yeah, like a rental.
And the Yankees aren't in position.
Exactly. And we'd end up giving up like 3 top prospects to have Trevor Story for 3 months.
Yeah, see, that's like the teams that can get away with the rentals are like the White Sox, who's a team that could be interested in him. Yeah, like those guys, those teams are going to get rentals, like the Brewers, maybe even Dodgers, Giants, Padres, like because those are the teams that have a shot. But yeah, so obviously Story's a big one. You know, he could really go anywhere. I mean, I don't know, but I've heard.
I know teams have been asking about Josh Donaldson.
I was just going to segue into the Twins too. I think Byron Buxton's another one.
Yeah,
even though he's hurt.
Yeah, Max Kepler's one. Like we said, Donaldson. I know people, I think the Yankees even asked about Andrelton Simmons.
Yep.
Twins are definitely selling at this point.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and then you got like the hypotheticals, like could Max Scherzer be on the move with the Nats kind of still in it, but not really? You got the guys from the Pirates like Frazier,
Reynolds.
yeah. Cubbies, could we see KB or Rizzo on the move?
I mean, the Cubs
Kimbrel
said that
even?
they were going to be sellers. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone. They said everyone's on the market for them, even Javi, KB. So.
yeah, and that's when we talk about like one trade that we think could happen or that we would kind of like to see. I'll touch on that because it's not going where I think you think it is. I know you and I talked previously about KB to the Mets. I mentioned that to you. That makes sense, but I'm thinking of a different one that people have probably heard elsewhere. But no, I think, if I'm the Cubs though, and like you're at the point now, like, okay, let's rebuild. If you're going to extend somebody, you got to extend KB.
Right.
He's got to stay.
Especially after the year he's having. He was an all-star. I mean, he's been doing it.
He's not Rizzo. He's younger than Rizzo. Rizzo's already been there, done that, like in his prime kind of thing. Rizzo rejected a contract offer that they gave him. He was insulted by it, I believe is the word that he said. So if you're going to keep somebody there, like with the young guys like Patrick Wisdom, I mean, you could sell Javi. Hayward's going to be there, I think. Ian Happ. I think if you want to rebuild, I think if you're going to rebuild, you have to sign Chris Bryant to an extension, whether it be midseason or after the season. So I don't think that they should trade him, unless it's something like Chapman and the Yankees back in 2016, where they were like, we're going to get rid of you, get Glaber, and then you're just going to re-sign with us in the offseason. So
win a World Series real quick and then come back to the Yankees.
Yeah. So I don't know who else has been talked about.
I was just I know one guy that that I was watching MLB TV, and they were talking about one guy who hasn't had the greatest year average wise, but that's Eduardo Escobar of the D-backs.
Him and Ketel Marte, those are two big ones.
Yeah. His Escobar's numbers on the year, man. I mean, the guy has 22 home runs. He's batting .250, which is around his career batting average is a .256.
Yeah.
So he's not 300, but he drives and runs. He gets on base. He has a 301 OBP, 486 slugging, 787 OPS, which is around league average. But I mean, he's driven in 65 runs and he's hit 22 home runs. So he's got pop. He can play multiple positions. It'd be a good, like a good rental for maybe like the White Sox looking to fill second base with.
Yeah, because he can. Or Ketel Marte could both play second base for them.
Second base, and Marte even plays outfield. I mean,
he's center fielder this year.
Definitely could see those guys on the move.
And then keep an eye too on David Peralta. He could be another one. He could be another one. He plays a solid right field or left field for them, but he could be another one that they get rid of because they can get. I think he's quiet, but he's solid. Like I think he's hitting like high 200s average wise.
Yeah, so he was one point. Yeah, I want to say he was hitting like 300.
Yeah, I feel like he's.
I think he fell off a little bit. He's batting .254.
Okay.
He's got 723 OPS, 4 home runs, and 43 ribbies.
Yeah, he's not a big power guy, which I thought he was the opposite. I thought he was more of a power guy than a contact guy. But so maybe he won't be on the move. But earlier this year, he was hitting like high 200s, and he was getting on base and stuff. But those are some other ones. I mean, I don't think that there's really anything else that kind of stands out much. There's not like.
I was just going to say, like, I know a couple teams have asked about Starling Marte from.
Yeah, he's another one because apparently he rejected the Marlins extension that was like 3 years, 30 mil or something like that. He rejected that. So the thought is that unless they come back with an offer that he likes, that he could probably be on the move. That's another one that the Yankees looked in. He's a solid player, plays center field. So if a team needs outfield help, or top of the lineup help, he could be the one for sure. Going back to the White Sox though, transitioning from the trade talks, the Yermin Mercedes news, dude. What is going on with this man? Like,
It's, the old saying, "There's no crying in baseball."
mhm.
The dude's got to stop crying, man. Like Tony La Russa really broke his spirit.
This is the funny thing though. I saw something that came up on Twitter yesterday, and everybody knows like that you watch baseball. Like everybody knows who Ozzie Guillen is. Like Ozzie Guillen was the White Sox manager for years, won a World Series in '05, all that stuff. And I guess he has a podcast, and he was talking about kind of the same thing, like telling Yermin Mercedes, like, stop crying. He's like, you're not Otani, you're not Tim Anderson, you're not Abreu, like you can't, like you came up and you set the world on fire for a couple of months, and then okay, you hit a 3-0 homer and everybody got on your back, but Tony La Russa still gave you 200 at bats after you hit that 3-0 homer. He didn't sit you,
Right.
and he hit, I think, like a buck 10
Yes. Yeah.
after that. So it's all him. It's not, I know you and I jumped on Tony La Russa, but I don't want to say I'm team Tony La Russa right now, but I don't think he's the reason behind it. Like, I think Yermin, like you said, he's just kind of got to stop crying. Like, just focus on your craft and get better.
100%. I don't think it has anything really to do with Tony. I think it's just a mental thing for him.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think it really got into his head, and he came down to earth. And I know they sent him down to AAA. I think he might still be down there.
He is.
So it's all mental shit. It's what you did in the beginning of the season was great. It was fun to watch. Just focus on you, get back to that, get mentally right, and put yourself first. He's the thing with him is he's an older rookie. I believe he's like 29.
Yeah, he's old.
So you kind of have to produce now or never, but get mentally right. And we've seen what he's capable of, and I hope he gets back to it. But
and then
because he announced that he retired, and then the next day he showed up to the clubhouse. I guess the White Sox front office and management had spoke to him and kind of got him back on the right track. So.
Yeah, he hinted at it at one point on social media, and then like 3-4 hours later he announced that he was retiring, and then less than 24 hours later, quick turnaround, he's like, you know what, I love this game, I'm coming back. And then Tony La Russa was like, yeah, I saw that, I'm gonna have to talk to him and see what's up. So
yeah, it was a strange 24 hours. I know me and you were talking back and forth about it. Like, this is so weird. Like, this could be the first retirement in the history of baseball. But,
so
hope he gets back on track. I mean, the White Sox are fun to watch, and it's
definitely
nice to see in the lineup.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. So that was funny. That was that. But what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say one thing I wanted to get into. Obviously, the Olympics had their opening ceremony on Friday, and I've been watching everything from rowing to rugby to like water polo, basketball, whatnot, swimming. I know you've been watching it a lot. I personally love the Olympics. It gives me it's different from just watching baseball every day.
Yeah. So, I appreciate it. I appreciate it for all the athletes that you see, dude. Right. Like, I'm watching dudes play handball, water polo. Those are electric sports.
Right. I mean, we were talking about the people rowing before.
The women's rowing. Like,
these people can't be over 130 pounds, and it's like
women,
the shit they're doing.
Team USA for women's rowing, like the full boat row. I mean, like, they were shredded, dude. Their arms, some of the nicest arms I've ever seen in my life. They were absolutely yoked. And I'm like, and then I texted you. I was like, imagine trying to row for 2,000 meters. And we were like, no. So props to them. I love watching all the athletes. I like gymnastics, both men's and women's, is always so impressive to me too. Because like the stuff that they can do with their bodies is absolutely incredible.
Oh, it's nuts. I mean, the strength and the patience, and I watched the USA women's team, always pulling for them. Obviously, they're nasty every time in the Olympics or the World Cup. It's incredible. So look out for that. But baseball kicks off next
Tuesday,
weekend, I
right?
believe Saturday.
I think there's a game. It's not USA, but I think like the Dominican plays Tuesday at like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah. So I don't know. I definitely I don't
I'm gonna
know.
pull it up. I'm gonna look on my phone. Team USA baseball schedule.
I got it right here.
They play Israel Friday, July 30th at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Jeez.
If anybody wants to watch that.
And also like the whole women in sports aspect that we preach about that we love.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out USA women's softball. I don't
know
if
you
watched, they started 3-0.
Yeah, they're nasty. I didn't even see. I was so behind with all that stuff. Like I didn't know when anything was on because I wasn't paying attention to anything until like yesterday, and then like I was like, I miss Team USA softball go 3-0. That was annoying, but yeah, it looks like we got 6 o'clock in the morning on the 30th.
The USA softball team has yet to let up a run in 3 games. So.
That's wild. I saw they walked it off the other day to finish 3-0. That was pretty sick.
2-0. Yeah. So Wednesday, the DR and Japan kick it off, and then we got a couple game. We got a game Thursday, Israel and Korea, and then Friday you got Mexico and the DR, and US and Israel. So
look at some of these. Some of these teams got some former big leaguers people will remember. Like Adrian Gonzalez plays for Team Mexico. Team Israel's got some good players. I can't remember all of them, but the one I remember, Ian Kinsler. Yep. Ian Kinsler's there. Obviously, Team USA, a lot of people know Todd Frazier, David Robertson, Edwin Jackson, et cetera, et cetera. But some of these other teams, like
they got
don't forget about Japan. Masahiro Tanaka's over there.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some – you might not – it might seem like, oh, I don't know how like other countries, are in baseball, but there's going to be some names, that you baseball fans will recognize from, Team Mexico, Dominican Republic. There's got to be a ton from the DR. And then Israel, there's a handful. And then obviously Team USA has a bunch, and then Team Japan too. There'll be some familiar names for sure.
Yeah, so. And I know Eddie Alvarez of the baseball team actually was chosen to be a flag bearer for US in the opening.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. He's in the Marlins farm system, I believe.
Okay.
So
the name sounds familiar, Eddie Alvarez.
Yeah, it's a combination of like younger guys. I think they have a couple guys who are in the minors on the team. Mm-hmm. A couple. I know they got David, like you said, David Robertson. Todd Frazier, Edwin Jackson, a couple names that everyone's obviously heard, but it should be fun to watch. I mean, if you're a baseball lover like we are, despite they're not in the superstar caliber, it's still good to root on.
It's nice to have baseball and softball back. I mean, 2008 was the last time baseball was there, and that's when Ben Sheets took the world by storm, and Team USA won gold. But softball, I don't think has been in since like the 90s, or if not earlier than that. Like, it's good to have those sports back. I mean, it's awesome because like for softball, especially, like this, can give these athletes like these female athletes another way to earn money, because there's no MLB for softball.
I mean, even past the money, it's just great to see them being able to showcase their name and, perform, rep their country, rep their families.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what I think I saw something that was like, that's where it's the best, is because everybody, it's not about like yourself, because you don't have to worry about like, okay, I got to get paid, I got to get a contract. It's like, we're here to represent Team USA. So everybody has one goal in mind, and that's to go win a medal.
Yep. And, yeah, I mean, we'll wrap it up. I just I want to say for the Yankee fans listening, it's Sunday. Gio Urshela is back in the lineup today,
nice.
So that's good. Recovering from COVID, and hopefully we get Judgy back soon.
I think Judge and Higgy should be back for the Tampa Bay series.
Yeah, But yeah, let's see. Hopefully the Yankees get a win. They play today at 1. So see if they can get a win and avoid that be what 5 straight series or 6 straight
I
series.
think it would be 6.
A loss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll
So,
one this. So before we head out, we'll talk about. We each had something in mind of one trade that we think will happen / would like to see happen. I don't know about you, but I didn't get like who would be traded for who. I just went like with the big league guys and said I would like to see this person or people get traded to this team. Like I didn't get into it like, oh, they got this much time left on their contract, they could do this with
yeah.
them. That it was just like I want to see this person or these people go to this team.
Right.
So what you got? You kick it off.
All right. My big one is Mr. Max Scherzer.
Okay.
He's going to come over and he's going to pitch for your Tampa Bay Rays.
Dude, see, that would be so not Rays, but they've already done that. They already went out and got Nelly Cruz. Like that's not Rays either. So I don't know what they're doing because they get Nelly Cruz and then Glasnow's hurt, but they trade away Rich Hill.
Exactly what my thinking with Scherzer is. If there's a team looking for pitching right now and needs an ace, it's the Rays because they're in it. They're first in their division. They're going to be a playoff team. They're without their ace. They just traded away one of their top arms in Rich Hill. I mean, even though he's, father time.
Yeah.
But Scherzer, I feel like Scherzer's a great fit. Yeah, it's the Rays. The people, joke about them being the poverty franchise because their payroll is so low. But
that's also just not what they do. They don't go out and get those guys.
Yeah, they don't have the bona fide stars and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
they
get it done. They'll have me and you out there, and like they somehow get it done.
Exactly. So that was one I would like to see, and then another one, even either Adam Frazier or Trevor Story to the White Sox.
Yeah. I mean, I talked to you about Trevor Story to the Sox, and I'm like, I have my one buddy, Eric, who's the big White Sox fan. I was talking to him the other day, and he said that he wants that to happen. And I was like, dude, what do you like? You think Story is going to move to second base, or you think TA is going to move to second base? He's like, TA is not moving. Like Trevor Story, if Trevor Story wants a ring, he'll play second base until we win the World Series in October. Is basically what he told me. And I was like, yeah, that's true, because like I don't think that they would extend him. I think that it would be a true rental like Manny Machado was with the Padres back in 2018. Or not the Padres, the Dodgers. Yeah, sorry, the Dodgers.
No, that's Manny. Actually, Manny is the first guy who pops into my mind when we think of rentals.
Yeah,
I definitely think Story he seems like a very unselfish guy. I think coming from a struggling franchise in Colorado, I think he'd be more than grateful to play second base for them for the
just to go win a ring, dude. Get back in the playoffs, like
with an incredible team. I mean, the White Sox are an incredible team.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's I would love to see that too. But the one that I was thinking of was going back to the Cubs. I know I said Chris Bryant to the Mets makes a lot of sense, which it does. You can put him at third base. Or left field and have JD Davis play whatever one Chris Bryant doesn't play. But Rizzo and Kimbrel to the Red Sox.
I was literally thinking that.
Also makes way too much sense because the Red Sox have been struggling at first base. Bobby Dahlback has not been that great this year. And they've been trying to figure something out. So like Rizzo, who actually started with the Red Sox, they traded him to the Cubs in the farm system. Him going there, he knows what it takes to win a World Series. He's been there before. He's done it. And Craig Kimbrel, also a former Red Sox who won the World Series with them in 2018. He is another one. He could go back because the Red Sox need bullpen help too. I mean, you can never have too much pitching either, but I think that makes a lot of sense. And I know we said this is things we would like to see happen. I truly, truly think that the Red Sox are going to get both of those guys. And if not both, they're going to get one or the other.
Yeah, you could see it happen. I mean, the Red Sox are known for making,
and if they And if they don't get Kimbrel or something, be on the lookout. They could get we didn't mention it earlier, but Jose Barrios too. Teams are calling the Twins about Barrios. He could be another one that the Red Sox go out and get too. But that's my big one was Kimbrel and Rizzo to the Red Sox because it just makes too much sense.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does. Especially, I mean, Kimbrel's been having an insane season, so he could definitely help a playoff team.
Yeah, and I think another one that is probably going to happen, going back to the Pirates again, I think you might see Brian Reynolds be down in Houston. I think he might take over down in Houston a little bit, play some outfield for them.
Okay, I like that.
I could see it because I know that they've been in on Starling Marte, so I think that they might go and get Brian Reynolds because why the hell not? I guess.
Yeah, why not? But a lot of good stuff there. Definitely stay tuned. It's the trade deadline ends this week.
It's the 31st, so
that's a week from yesterday. Yes.
Yeah.
So Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday, next Saturday, which is sweet. It's a weekend, so I can just plant myself in front of the TV and watch MLB Network all day.
Yeah, so if you guys are listening, this episode should be put out either by tonight or tomorrow. Let us know what splash you want to see your team make. And, even if you're not a fan of any team, let us know.
Something that would make you trade happen that you would like to see happen so you would watch more or something.
Right.
So
glad to be back, Alex. Glad to be doing this with you again.
Absolutely.
Episode 8. So
yeah, episode 8.
And,
we're getting there. We're gonna hopefully we can keep putting them out, and I'm excited for playoffs and post trade deadline to start sending some more episodes out to everybody. So thanks again, everybody, for listening. As Randy said, it'll be out either later tonight or tomorrow. We'll see you. So be kind, take it easy.
That Brooklyn bullshit, we on it.
Biggie, 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 can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me. And I just love your flashy ways. Guess that's why they're broken, you're so fake.